Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
You know, OB, this is a real radio show.
It's not fake.
No.
If you want to be really good about...
You want to be entertained about A&M?
Yeah. This is the show.
Actually, it's not really a radio show anymore.
It's everything.
It's an everything
show. It's a radio show. It's a
studio show.
It's multimedia.
It's a comedy of errors.
It's definitely that.
It is a Why of Error Wednesday, but I feel like this might be a new one. I don't remember.
Actually, this is one of two that I got for Father's Day.
There you go.
Yeah.
That one I could definitely see you at Del Boca Vista hanging out.
Where?
Del Boca Vista. I believe that's the name of Seinfeld, the retirement community.
Oh, hey, sounds good to me.
Can you double check that with the name of the retirement
Del
community?
Del Boca Vista.
I believe it's Del Boca Vista.
Oh, sure.
Where Jerry's parents went.
Yeah.
And then Jerry had to go and had to lift weights with the old man.
I'm the old man lifting the weights, though.
Well, I'm right behind you, brother. Welcome in, everybody. So I wanted to start things off with, okay, sometimes I bring up a topic, people think I want to get mad. I don't want to get mad on this one. No. I do like getting mad, but this is not one to get mad about.
All right.
Did you see what Joey McGuire said yesterday?
I didn't, because I know the Big 12 media days are going on, but.
All right, this is what he said, okay?
Yeah.
And I got a take, all right? Hot take. It's actually not that hot. If you're a Texan and you're a fan of football in this state, he spoke like this, right?
Okay.
Then why would you go out of the state to play a non-conference game if we're not in the conference anymore because you have such a good football state? I would love to play Texas A&M, SMU. I think it's great for the state of Texas.
Okay, selfishly.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
I don't want to go to Lubbock.
I mean, Lubbock's okay. I think, you know how every...
but I don't want to go.
Yeah, well, you know how every Chamber of Commerce, they'll put a little sign out front, like, the best place to be is Lubbock, and it should be not as bad as you thought.
Yeah.
But...
I don't mind Lubbock. I've been there. I liked it. It's fine.
But I would put it to you, David.
But I ask you why, Nuno?
Would you rather be taking trips
the answer already
to Notre Dame or to Clemson or to Miami or
Ukraine? I don't care.
They got some pretty girls in Ukraine.
Well, I think they fled.
The Beatles sang about them.
Yeah.
Back in the USSR, and Tempe next year. So
far the answer is no.
I selfishly like to see A&M play these out-of-state opponents because you get to see somebody new and you get to go nice places.
This is how I look at it, OB.
All right, tell me.
All right, just from a football perspective, risk versus reward. Now stop right there. I'm not talking about in-state recruiting. All right, I'm just talking about in general. What does what does A&M gain by playing Tech? Well, you could beat an in-state rival. You can gain there. If you lose, along with your 9-game SEC schedule, it becomes a lot more crowded. And I think the future of the SEC is probably not to schedule as hard of a P4 team, probably because of the current state, unless they do move to 2014 playoff. For Texas Tech, though, OB, for Tech, they don't play anybody. So for them, if they lose a game to an SEC team, they can still get in the playoffs probably because they're going to walk through the rest of the Big 12. It is way more advantageous for Texas Tech, of course, in their position to ask for these games, than it is for A&M, Texas, or anybody else in the SEC to schedule Texas Tech. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I think we should. Let's play them. But it's interesting to ask for it because you're in a position that you need A&M or you need Texas more than Texas or Texas A&M need Texas Tech.
Well, that's true. Except Texas Tech will get into the playoff even if they lose to A&M or Texas because they're in the Big 12. They got to win the Big 12.
That's why it's not that big of a risk for them. If they move to the Big 10, which I still don't think is as big of a risk as the SEC, but
I don't think Texas Tech's ever going to get that AAU certification.
Yeah, you're right about that. But it just I get it from their perspective. You got to fight up. Even though you have all the money in the world, you got to fight. I get it. But it doesn't make sense. Like, there are other programs I would rather face if I'm Texas A&M that are better than Texas Tech, by the way.
Right.
I'd rather go to Penn State.
Yeah. Except getting there is kind of like the hilly version of Starkville.
Yeah. I've never been to Happy Valley.
It's once you get there, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's just getting there is an issue. Look, if they decided to play Texas, fine.
We'll go. It'll be fun.
It's not like I don't think A&M's scared to play Texas Tech.
No, it's
or anybody else for that matter.
It's a business decision. That's it.
I mean, you're looking at a program that just last year went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So here's why I wouldn't play Texas Tech. There's only one reason why I wouldn't play them if I was in charge. It's because of that. When you're trying to use media to try to manipulate
the situation.
That's the same reason I didn't want to play Texas for all those years, because they were going through the media to try to manipulate the situation. Sure. They say, hey, if that's the way you're going to do it, then I'll never play you.
Look, I would not mind playing Texas Tech in a non-conference game at some point, 5 years, 10 years, 20, whatever. Okay, I'm not saying I don't want to play them. But I'm going to give you, let's go through a list of programs we'd rather play before we get to Texas Tech.
Oh, gosh.
Okay? I already said Penn State, Michigan. I can't believe I'm saying it. Indiana. I would have never thought that.
Wisconsin.
I'd like to play Georgia in our freaking conference first. Okay?
Right.
I'm just saying, we haven't even played Georgia since I've been here. Yeah. I'd like to see that.
People on the Titanic were saying they wanted a bath.
Yeah, well, it ain't going to happen. No, it's actually on the schedule. Who else? I'd like to go to Florida State. I'd like to.
Okay.
I'd like to go back to Miami.
Yeah, me too.
Florida Atlantic, FIU, all of them.
Places that I'd really like to see A&M play. You know where they'll never do this, but it's a kind of a bucket list of mine. I'd love to see them play on the road.
Okay, tell me.
At Army and Navy.
Oh, yes, you're speaking my language.
Annapolis and West Point. Actually go there.
And then we have to train with the folks.
Well, I didn't say that.
Okay, sorry. It was my day job.
But, I just would love to go to those places. Now, that'll never happen. But like I said, I've always wanted to see a game at Wisconsin. Washington?
I think I might go to Tech.
Be on the lake?
Yeah.
The stadium right there on the lake?
Here's part of it, too. We've done the Tech thing. We were in the Big 12.
And their fans react. They act like idiots.
Well, I think all fans do, but yeah.
They take it to another level, or maybe not all the time, but when they've dealt with like A&M.
By the way, for the Texas Tech fans that are going to clip this and get mad at us, I think your program is going to make the playoffs even with your third-string quarterback.
I'm betting on them.
I think you spent a lot of good money, and you've done a nice job with your program, no doubt. Okay, I think Joey McGuire is an excellent coach. This has nothing to do with Texas Tech itself, It's not because A&M is scared of Tech. It's not because I'm scared of Tech. It's not that.
Now, you don't schedule Notre Dame if you're scared of Texas
I'm
Tech.
scared of everybody. That's the fact. I'm an equal scared opportunist.
You're not scared. Respect all, fear none.
Okay. I have my moments of, we're going on the road there. I have those moments, okay? And then I'm like, game day, let's go.
Ohio Stadium.
I would love to go there. Okay, I would.
I wouldn't mind going back to Nebraska.
I haven't been to Nebraska.
That's nice.
So
I've never been to Iowa.
Yeah, I think I'm good on that one. I think I'll let you go.
Okay.
There's certain trips that I'm like,
I know some place I have been that we've never is Illinois.
Hey, by the way,
Starkville laughs at Champaign-Urbana.
I think I personally, and I'm sorry for saying this, I think I'd rather go to Lubbock than Baton Rouge. I don't ever have a good time in Baton Rouge.
Were you not there this year?
No, I skipped it.
Oh, man.
I had to do Luchador at 10 p.m. that night.
That was,
and
I had a good time there.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Your son went there. You have friends there. And all those, all his fraternity brothers loved you. I think it's an awesome football experience, no doubt. I just don't like the Baton Rouge experience overall.
Well, Baton Rouge is a crap hole itself, but the LSU campus is nice.
Great. It's very, very nice.
I like going there once every other year. I don't think we should have to go back-to-back years, but hey, it's the way it worked out. Typically stay in Lafayette.
Yep.
Get up early so you make sure you get over the Mississippi Bridge before traffic, because then you might miss the game.
Yep.
The food is overrated, but you can still find some good food there.
Yep.
Oh, food's great in Lafayette, by the way. And then it's a great atmosphere. Now, I talked about the Tech fans being idiots. I always say about LSU fans are kind of like manure. If it's just a little bit and you spread it around, it's fertilizer. It can be very productive, but you put a whole lot together in one spot, it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've never met anyone individually from Louisiana that I didn't like. I met a guy one-on-one. Hey, you're Louisiana. You're good to guy.
Yeah.
Just put them all together and,
To sum up the Texas Tech discussion.
Yes.
Okay. Sure, we'll play you. It's not on my priority list, and it does not. Like, I do believe, who's Tech trying to, University of Texas, excuse me, the SIPs, they're trying to get out of the contract with Notre Dame. Is that right? I think I remember
Is that right?
I believe that. You may fact check me on that. I believe I read that. So, I think until you advance to a 2014 playoff, I think these SEC teams that have 9 SEC games, they may not be scheduling. They have to schedule a Power 4 team. They still have to. But maybe not the marquee matchup.
And the Funky Bunch?
Oh, Marky Mark.
What are your three? You've well traveled. What are the 3 best road trips, college football road trips you've taken? Ever?
Are we talking about from a football perspective or from I enjoy being here perspective?
No, just you had a good time.
Good time. Okay.
And sometimes the outcome
plays
into that.
Well, unfortunately, a couple of the places that I've enjoyed, A&M hasn't won, so I don't know if I should say those, but I love the Knoxville experience.
Okay.
Loved it. I love the Tuscaloosa experience.
Okay.
And I loved the Miami experience. All 3 losses. So now let's rewind and talk about wins on the road, which, by the way, I didn't have a lot of those up until in the last couple of years with Elko. So
Florida would have been a good trip, but you were sick.
That was a good trip, except I was sick. Yes, yeah. That had a lot of potential. They won in a game where you're like, how are they going to win with Marcel at quarterback, right? And he was great because that was his first start.
You know what I thought about that game?
What's that?
Remember we had that hour rain delay, I referenced a Tom Petty song because they sing.
Yeah.
I should have wrote the waiting was the hardest part.
See, that would have worked.
All right, but go ahead. So,
okay.
Florida was good.
I'm trying to think what else.
Notre Dame was
the whole experience was great. Going to that game, South Bend, the Chicago experience combined with that. Remember, we ran into a bunch of people I knew from Betas.
Yeah. Went to a tailgate. That's right. Yeah. So Notre Dame, Florida. I don't really like the Missouri experience. Okay.
But they've won there.
There's not a whole lot of experiences.
They've won there. Where else have they won on the road? Help me out here.
Well, have you been to any other college football road trips before you've been to TexAgs?
Yeah, I went to Norman with U of H. I went to Norman with covering the Aggies. That's okay. Yeah. I don't mind it. No, I liked Florida a lot. I would say Tuscaloosa was a great experience. I really liked it. And it was still Saban's Tuscaloosa, right?
Yeah.
And Miami for obvious reasons.
Yeah, you had family and everything. And Miami. You're in Miami.
The places I didn't love, which I was surprised I didn't love the Vegas experience.
Yeah, they kind of half-assed it as far as putting a bowl game together.
Yeah, it was. We were like, sorry, I shouldn't say it, but it felt our surroundings. I'm not saying the hotel, but maybe
everybody was on strike.
Yeah, they were yelling. Remember that lady cursed me out?
Yeah. She was the most recent one to do so.
Yeah. No, anyway. There's been more recent.
That's what I mean. Has there been?
Yeah. To Vegas, it just felt like a depressed atmosphere that particular weekend or whenever we were there.
Oh, for including bowl games, and you just throw out any Cotton Bowl. Cotton Bowl's amazing.
Yeah. I don't think I've covered a Cotton Bowl.
Oh.
I've never covered a Cotton Bowl.
Poor you.
I know.
Yeah.
You've always bragged about
it's
the real deal.
I'm assuming they still do it the same way.
Yeah.
Now that, they're in the playoff mix and stuff. But yeah.
What's another great road trip experience? Oh, I'm having a momentary.
I had a great time one time. I went to cover USC and Ohio State in California.
Oh, that would have been fun.
And the Orange Bowl committee took a lot of the only problem with that is if you take a wrong turn trying to get to the Coliseum, like if you the next thing you know, you're at Boys in the Hood. Yeah. I mean, it's in Watts. I didn't know that. Right there on Figueroa. Make sure you get on the right-hand lane.
I feel like this is an Ice Cube rap song. I know Figueroa.
I was there.
Yeah, I've been there. I go to the meeting.
But this was great. So the Orange Bowl committee, because they were having national championship in there, took a lot of the media to a real nice dinner at this place in Santa Monica. And I looked over, and you talk about missed opportunity. There was Jamie Foxx. And I missed opportunity. His real name's Eric Bishop.
Yeah, you covered him in high school, right?
And I saw his Terrell High School team lose to Chapel Hill the year Chapel Hill in '89 when they beat A&M Consolidated for the state championship. And this was great. And if to this day, I would have walked by and said, because he was like from me to the social center and said, Eric, how did you guys lose to Chapel Hill? Because if you play high school football in Texas, you want to talk about it.
Heck yeah.
Missed opportunity.
But
that was a great trip. I've had a lot of great trips.
Here's a real opportunity for you.
What's that?
What's the name of the show and the presenting sponsor?
Well, this is TexAgs Live.
Yeah, that's right.
Brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
You're right about that as well. We are in the what?
We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
We actually took this hour, we gave it a name, and we called it the what?
It's the Go Hour. It's brought to you by the Warehouse CC Creations.
And we're typically sitting over there, but we're right now sitting here. But if we were sitting there, we'd call it?
Well, we'd call it the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. But we call it the Cool Zone here, too, because the Cool Zone will go wherever you need it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it by calling us up on the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. That number is OB.
979-693-1150.
But if you text that number, we change the name magically, and we call it the what?
The Catalyst Pure Performance Energy Text Line.
All right, let's go around the room. We go left to right. We go behind the glass. Through the television is Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, buddy.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
What up?
I agree with everything y'all said. I don't think A&M needs Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech would need A&M more. But personally, I find myself watching, and I think we're all like this, more regional games here in Texas. If Texas Tech is on the TV playing whoever, I'll watch them if there's nothing on, or maybe Baylor, TCU, something like that. So I would enjoy seeing A&M play these, teams close by out of conference every now and then. But also, I completely agree with y'all. I'd rather see them go to Tempe like they're going to do next year. Go to South Bend like they did. Go to all these cool non-conference places out of the state of Texas. So there's a fine line. Maybe mix in a Texas, non-conference series, home and home, every now and then.
I kind of look at it, and this is probably going to get me in trouble. I kind of look at it like the girl you used to date, and you go to college, and you're like, there's way more girls here. I'm good, and she's done some good work. We're just in a different league. We're in the SEC. Like it's not as appealing as it used to be right now. Sorry, it's only been however many years, 15 years. I'm good.
Yeah,
here we go.
The girls are much hotter now with the ones that A&M surrounds themselves with now. They're the much hotter ones, like Notre Dame and like Miami.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were talking about right now.
Did you see any pretty girls at Miami?
I don't look.
Yeah, I looked.
I don't look.
I look at like art.
I don't look a lot.
Like if I was at a museum and I was looking at art, okay, I say, God, good job.
Great job, sir. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Matthew Coughlin. Hello. Did you research Del Boca Vista?
You were spot on.
Yes. Del Boca Vista.
Can they send me a brochure?
Perhaps, if you ask nicely.
I'm only a couple of years away. 29 months.
What was
20? But who's counting?
What was Jerry's dad running for? Like the
HOA president.
The HOA president. I can see you doing that,
or something like that. No, I don't.
Maurice Seinfeld, Buchanan.
I'm not very political. I wouldn't get into it.
No. So none of this means anything to you, right?
No Seinfeld.
That's unfortunate. So I think you know this. The twins love Seinfeld.
Well, if you ever watch it, you're going to love it. Yeah,
it's the greatest show ever.
Funny show.
Yeah, it's the best. All right, what do you got?
Well, since we're on the topic of football, I'm going to hop quickly over to the NFL as PFF released the NFL's top 5 best running backs after contact entering 2026.
Okay.
And number 1 ranked was former Texas A&M running back Devon Achane.
Yeah, Achane to me forever.
Yeah. There's been some dramatic pauses in your reading there. You're like
He's
holding it up.
Setting up the suspense because...
Matthew Cough. Lynn. Sorry, go ahead.
As a rookie in 2023, he generated 4.9 yards after contact per attempt, and no other qualifying season since the start of the PFF era, which is 2006, has had over 4.5.
Can you believe there were people on our boards before his final year here that was questioning whether he could be an every
NFL,
down back? And he's too little and all that. I'm like, what are you guys watching?
When you have that kind of talent, you make up for the size.
The one thing I never understood is I understood, that was a great run. He had the flu against his first carry against Florida was like 80 yards. He would have scored if he didn't have the flu.
See, he had the flu the same weekend I had the flu?
No, that was
that was here. Yeah, that's right.
But Jimbo would never use him as a decoy or let him throw a pass.
Hold on. Am I remembering this correctly? I think I am. On the last play against Alabama, the Evan Stewart play, was he not even in?
Yeah, he was on the field. He just didn't. They didn't
even use him, right?
Yeah, he didn't even factor into the play. I'm like, what? You got the best player on the field, and definitely the fastest, and you don't even use him as a decoy.
That's gonna haunt me forever.
My head's hurting.
Let's get one more story, shall we?
Yeah. So in the NBA, the Summer League is going on right now. Anderson Garcia and Wade Taylor are teaming up with the Golden State Warriors. Both of them played on Monday. And Rylan Griffin signed with the Nuggets. His first game is the 10th. And Rashawn Agee with the Cavs also opens on the 10th.
Of those 4, who do you think has the best chance to play some significant time in the NBA?
I think Anderson.
I agree.
I just think his game translates. He's
the Dominican Caruso. They always say the Dominican Rodman. Because I get it, DR,
Yeah.
He does all the things Caruso used to do. I mean, he doesn't bring the ball up, but he's just that guy that does all the dirty work that you have to have.
He does. All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back with a little short segment because we got Braden Gall coming up at 8:35. By the way, on the show today, John Harris, 9 o'clock. We like him. Mm-hmm. We've got E.J. Smith, 9:35.
Okay,
we love him. Right? Yeah. At 10 o'clock, Leroy Burrell. We love him. New coach, right? Olympian.
A good country singer. Oh, wait, that's Leroy Parnell. Never mind.
Different dude. And then at 10:35, we love Jason Howell.
Jason Howell's a good guy.
I can see you guys having a beer together.
We have.
Oh, well, there you go.
We watched the game. I can't remember if it was game 1 or 2 of the College World Series at walk-ons together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at the bar there.
Well, now I'm going to flip the script on you.
Okay.
And say the game is now. All right, let's just say there's a great game going on. Maybe it's World Cup, because I know you and Jason are really into the World Cup. At, 11:30 a.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah, had they been playing that College World Series game at 11 o'clock in the
I know where you'd be.
Then I'd have been at 1775.
All right, but now you order for Jason Howell. And he may say, no, I want to, and you say, no, I'm ordering.
I got this. If it's a friend, which Jason is, who had never been there, I just order the sampler. I say, hey, because that sampler comes with the succulent brisket, some of the amazing pork ribs, that incredible jalapeno cheese sausage. They'll throw out some pulled pork, and then you got some turkey on top of that. And then as a side, they have several sides, but I personally would order the queso mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And bask in its glory.
I don't know if Jason's been there because he lives in the Metroplex. He comes here, he's in and out. We got to change that.
We do. Hey, Jason, I know you're watching. Next time you're in town, just make sure you get here early. And, you know what he's usually doing in the afternoon? He's usually like hanging out in camps and watching prospects.
Yeah, he's
doing his job, but he can be like the rest of us and slack off and go down.
He does, rate recruits. He can rate the food at 1775.
Oh, he can 5 stars.
TXBBQ.com.
5-star barbecue.
979-492-6241. It's $17.75, OB.
It's good.
Hey everyone, David Nuno here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. TexAgs Live. OB, we were just talking to Reese Nygren, who took a 19-week vacation. He was in Norway.
Yeah.
While the World Cup's going on here, he's hanging out with a bunch of Norwegians watching Erling Haaland dominate.
What great timing, right? I would like to go to Norway, except I'm skeptical about the food.
Yeah.
Went to Disney one time to the Epcot, ate the Norway, they have a Norway area. Food sucked. But other than that, everything about Norway seems kind of amazing.
I don't mean this as a joke. I'm actually.
You think Reese stood out in Norway?
Yeah, he doesn't look like, the guy from Game of Thrones, the Night Walker.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
I have a question, and I'm not trying to be funny. I don't think it's funny. Are there Norwegian restaurants? Like, can you go in Houston? Oh yeah, the Norwegian place on Westheimer and whatever. Gessner.
Yeah, probably not.
I've never heard somebody say, let's go eat some Norwegian tonight. I don't mean that rudely. I don't think I've ever heard, let's eat Russian either, by the way.
No, just drink vodka and eat borscht.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because some food's not good. And so why have a restaurant? Because no one's going to eat there.
Right. People like Vietnamese, I get it, right?
Yeah.
There's Vietnamese restaurants everywhere.
You got the pho, or is it pho? However you say it.
Yeah. Pho, fi, pho. Yeah.
Phi, fi, fo, fo, fum.
Coughlin at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Give us something.
All right, so ESPN did a best college football players by jersey number of all time. 4 A&M players were honorable mentions. John Kimbrough, number 39, Von Miller, number 40, Ray Childress, number 53, and Sam Adams, number 95.
Huh. I wonder who they picked for number 2, Cam Newton?
Who did they pick for number 2? Cam Newton? Oh, he's scrolling.
Deion Sanders.
Oh, okay.
Cam Newton was an honorable mention for that one.
Johnny's not even an honorable mention. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's head to Braden Gall on the other side, shall we?
Yeah.
Braden Gall, he has been subbing in recently for Paul Feinbaum on vacation.
Doing a great job.
ESPN guy, 440 sports guy. We'll get him on the other
Former co-worker of mine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's a good dude. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. If you're a business owner and ready to take your operation to the next level, Caldwell Country Chevrolet is the way to do it. They've just expanded their selection of commercial vehicles to meet your everyday need. From service body trucks to heavy-duty, flatbeds, and medium-duty trucks, you name it. They are a newly designated business elite dealer, which means they understand what it takes to keep your company moving forward. And that's not all. Remember, every vehicle purchase comes with that free oil change for life. So if you are looking for a vehicle for your business or you're just looking for a vehicle for yourself, check out the good folks at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan, to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
At Brazos Valley Floor and Design, the Morrow family has helped Bryan College Station homeowners remodel with confidence for over 25 years, backed by the Adore Your Floor guarantee.
When you're ready to update a kitchen, refresh a living room, or renovate the whole house, come see the latest in flooring, from designer carpet to laminate, luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile.
We're 2 generations, hands-on from design to installation.
Brazos Valley Floor and Design, best floor and design since 1999.
And that's a promise.
Welcome back, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, the Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creation. So I don't know if we've done this before. I know that you and Braden Gall worked together back in the day. Have we done it on TexAgs Live together, us three?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I've just made it awkward. Braden Gall on the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. What's up, buddy?
Well, if you've ever been to dinner with Olin, it's always awkward, boys.
Well, he has.
Yeah, many times.
The three of us have not been to the dinner together.
Yeah, we need to do that. You looking forward to SEC Media Days?
I suppose. I'm excited for college football. I was talking to my 9-year-old yesterday, and I was trying to explain to her that Big 12 Media Days starting actually means something for her. Like, no, this means we're getting closer to college football. And after I explained how much talking will happen, then she finally got it. She was like, "Oh, college! I can't wait for football to start." So I do think there is a feel of like it's getting closer. It's getting closer. The Big 12 is kind of silly. Deion's kind of silly. Like, they're all having a good time. SEC Media Days is kind of silly, but it's such a fun part of the year and such a fun time of the year. And so it means we're getting close. So.
I look at SEC Media Days. I can't wait till it starts, and then I get there. I realize, oh, this is a lot of work. This is not as much fun as I always kind of remember back to.
Well, and I think, honestly, even going back when I think my first one ever was like 05, 06, somewhere in there. And like the players, back then the players had no access. We had no access to them. They had no access to sort of telling their own stories and getting their own information out. These paranoid, schizophrenic egomaniacs who run our college football programs never let anybody talk. And they're by far the best part of this sport. Like, the fans and the players are by far the best part. They are extraordinary young people. I think in the 90s, growing up watching this sport, in the 2000s, there was a lot of like, these are just, athletes who like to run fast into each other. And it's like, dude, that's not at all what it is. They are super complex, super interesting. They have so many different interests. And I don't know, they're the stars of the show. And I think they now have more access to tell their stories. And the fans get to know these guys better. And I just think that's a great place to be through all of the nonsense that we all get frustrated by with Congress and lawyers and lawsuits around college football. It is a fun time to just step back and go, man, these are some extraordinary young people doing really cool things. And we need to appreciate that during that week, because the other stuff takes over, right? Like, we don't, Deion making jokes or whatever, like it is what it is. But like, the players are really the stars and need to be the stars for that week for sure.
Braden, of all the times you've covered the SEC Media Days, you talk about all the players. Was there a guy that really stood out for just what he had to say, or what, the reaction to him?
Yeah, and I think, I don't remember what year this was. It probably was maybe 2012-ish. Somebody could fact check real quickly, when Malcolm Mitchell was at Georgia, and he was wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And, never really a superstar. I think he was a pretty decent recruit, came into college. But he told us a story about entering college at Georgia, reading at an elementary school level. Like, he had a fifth grade reading level when he got to college. And when he left college, he was a published children's book author. And he explained the relationships he had built with some teachers around reading and writing and telling stories and English class. And after 5 years of college, he had completely changed his entire existence on this earth. And that was because he was playing football at Georgia. And so, like, to me, and he's like one of, dozens of stories like that, hundreds of stories like that over the years at every university. And you're like, man, that's really what going to college is all about. Like, that's really what it's for. And I know that sounds, I'm getting old, and it makes me feel old to be like, no, this is like Pollyannish and naive to some degree. But like, that's really what it is, man. Like, you go to college to better yourself. And if that means athletics, if that means academics, like, I don't know. That's just an extraordinary story about a young person just doing like all himself, bettering himself in a way that is just extraordinary to me. So that one stands out. Like, hey, I'm reading, I'm way behind, and now I'm way ahead. And that's just a really cool part of the game to me that doesn't get covered, most of the time.
My producer just told me that's 2015. That's when he was there. Braden Gall with us here on TexAgs Live. Braden, follow me on this journey. So yesterday, Joey McGuire talks about how it would be great for A&M, for Texas, for SMU to all play Texas Tech. I went on this little fake rant that I was like, the risk versus reward for Texas Tech is nothing. If they lose to one of these teams, like they're in the Big 12, they're still going to probably win 10 games, 11 games, still get in the playoffs. For these other programs, there's a little bit more of a risk now with that 9th SEC schedule. So I guess long-winded way of explaining my framework here is that even though I'm against the 2014 playoff, for SEC teams in the future to start scheduling those harder games, the Notre Dames that we saw last year for A&M, I feel like we're going to have a 2014 playoff because that 9th game really makes that gauntlet even that more difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of math, like a lot of scheduling record calculus that's happening there. And I think your point is valid. There's not a lot of value. The risk reward is much greater and better for Texas Tech in this particular scenario. There's no question about that. Now, as a fan of college football, as someone who, lived in Dallas and Austin growing up, I want to see all these teams play each other. And I don't really care about the calculus about scheduling and trying to get into a playoff or whatever. I am curious, you're starting to see SEC teams back off those non-conference games, of course, because of the 9th conference game and because of the access to the tournament, as you're alluding to. So you move one lever over here, hey, we might add a loss, but then you move another lever over here and say, well, we're gonna add slots in the playoff. Then it balances out, and then maybe we can get back to scheduling like we kind of always have. I honestly don't know what to expect about non-conference games. I think. Because here's the thing. We all want better football games. Season ticket holders want better football games. TV partners want better football games. Athletic directors want better football games. They all make more money. We all think they're more fun. But at the end of the day, Alabama fan is not used to 9-3 being the new standard. 9-3, 10. Remember Brian Kelly? We're trying to get to 10-2. We're trying to get to 10-2. That's weird for anybody of our age.
Yep.
But I think there's a new version of 8-4 is really good in the NFL. You go 12-6, which is winning 2 out of every 3 games. You go 12-6 in the NFL, you win your division, you're probably a 1 or a 2 or a 3 seed, you're getting a home playoff game, and you got a chance to compete for a Super Bowl. That's a totally different vibe than 8-4 or 2 out of 3 in college football. So the question is, are we going to actually reframe our brains to, yes, it's going to go to 24 or it's going to go to 20, and let's say it expands and there's a bunch of extra spots. That sounds great in theory. But it also means that we're taking 8-4, 9-3, and saying that's really good. And I don't know if Ohio State fan or Georgia fan or fans that are used to going 12-0 or striving for 11-1, winning almost every time. I don't know if fans. It's going to take time for fans to adjust to. Alabama could go 9-3 this year and be a really, really good football team. Mm-hmm. And does that mean they're in? Does that mean they're out? What does that mean? Kalen DeBoer's fired? Does that mean we should give him extension? I don't really know. I don't think we know how we're all going to react to those versions of teams and records and what college football could look like if that happens. I don't know. I don't think any of us really know how that's going to land.
So with a 12-game playoff as it is, and the SEC has talked about wanting to go to 16 and keeping it not to 24, how confident are you, or do you have any confidence at all that the committees will be able to take into account that a team like Texas is playing Ohio State, Oklahoma's playing Michigan, and if there's a loss there, say be more forgiving for that than just looking at the records of a team in another division, in another conference?
Yeah, and look, I don't know how in any way you slice this that's not a thing that happens. We're all just human beings with brains here, and if you play Ohio, I know this is not maybe how we did it in the 90s, but it happens so easily between power conference teams and arguments and group of 5. Tulane goes undefeated in 2000 or whatever it was, 2002, whenever it was, and no one's oh, yep, they belong in the BCS. We do it so easily. Meaning analyze the schedule. And we take the schedules and we go, this team didn't play the same schedule. They're undefeated. That's not as good as this team over here that went 10-2 in the SEC because they played, 7 top 25 teams or whatever. We do that so easily between the group of 5, and now I guess the group of 6, and the power conference teams. I don't know why we are incapable of doing that between two teams in the power conferences. Like, I don't understand. So I think it's just normal and rational to just look at a team that played Ohio State on the road and say, yeah, that was harder than playing North Texas at home. Maybe North Texas is a bad example. Pretty good team last year. But you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know why we're incapable of that. I think we are capable of that. I think every rational argument and discussion on radio or social media or with my buddies at the bar takes that into account as like a normal way to do it. Then there is the explicit request of the SEC, which is they are very clearly asking the powers that be behind closed doors. I think every other conference is doing this too. They are specifically saying, are you going to add strength of schedule to your conversation? And that appears to be the case. Like last year, it was added to some degree with the committee room. I think there's going to be, it's not only will it be written into, their bylaws or whatever rules they need to have sort of formally presented to the public as a committee, but I think we all can just do it with our eyes and say, look, man, like, so long story short, yeah, I don't know how that's not a factor.
Well, but you're not on the committee, right? So my question is, so you're confident that whoever's going to be on the committee is actually going to start taking this into consideration?
Well, like if we're trying to look at history, you can go back, I want to say it was 2016, Penn State doesn't get in. They win the Big Ten championship as a 2-loss team. They don't get in. Washington gets in. Washington didn't play anybody in the non-conference. Penn State had lost. One of their 2 losses, I believe, was to Pitt in a very close non-conference rivalry game. And that was a piece of example of your concern, right? That's an example of your concern, which is that, no, the committee just valued the record and not the actual context.
I can go back to A&M in 2020 and even Baylor and TCU, whatever year that was.
Hey, Braden, we got to drop it here, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, but I talk too much. Braden.
No, that's my fault.
we'll actually talk some A&M when we see you at SEC Media Day. Sound good?
Yeah, that works.
Are you doing Fine Bum today?
I'll be on, today and tomorrow, this week,
Everybody check it out. Thank you, Braden. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you guys.
Braden Gall there, 440 Sports. We'll hit a break here. We'll come back with a very micro segment because the hour is about to close. OB, we got a new sponsor I want to talk to you about.
Really?
Yeah. I think you like food.
I do like
We've
food.
established that you're a food guy, right?
Yeah.
You been to Bubba's 33?
I have.
Bro. You
Yeah.
gotta say hi to Jessica and Shelby when you go there.
Yeah, good burgers.
Great burgers, great wings. They were our
Pizza.
partners. Yeah, they actually helped us last year quite a bit. They were our post-game wrap food provider. They were great. So this July, every donation, when you go there, you can dine, give back, and make a difference. Every donation can make an impact. Join them for the Burgers for the Brave event and help support Home for Our Troops, national nonprofit partner. Whether you're dining in with them or ordering takeout by phone, you're helping give back and make a difference for veterans all across the country. So make sure you come and enjoy great food and support an incredible cause and be a part of something bigger all month long at Bubba's 33. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, the food's great. A lot
of TVs.
A lot of TVs. Awesome atmosphere. Maddox, who used to intern here, he works there. He's always there. He's fantastic. Jessica and Shelby, the whole crew. Got to go to Bubba's 33. In fact, we probably need to do a show meeting there soon.
Let's go.
Bubba's 33. Check it out. Hey friends, David Nuno here for the Association of Former Students, and have you checked out the latest issue of the Texas Aggie magazine? The May through June issue is a special Aggie Spirits issue that includes all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. And the team at the Association of Former Students searched far and wide for Aggie-owned businesses, breweries, wineries across the state, the country, and even the world. That's right, the globe, baby. And as much as could be found has been compiled into the magazine for the Aggie Network. Now, normally, the Texas Aggie magazine is available only to Century Club members. However, this issue is available to everyone. So to read the issue and explore giving to receive future issues, visit tx.ag/Texas Aggie. That is tx.ag/Texas Aggie. Again, don't miss the special Aggie Spirits issue of the Texas Aggie to explore all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. It is tx.ag/Texas Aggie. Check it out. We're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Shout out to the Holistic Planning Cool Zone, OB. That was something he said there that we've talked about on the show, but from a different perspective. When he compared what a record in the NFL is to college football, it got me really thinking, like, you know, do we want it the way it always was? Do we want it to be, national champions got to be 12-0? Or are we a little bit more open? And I don't think you'll be open right away to change to like, hey, 9-3 is elite at this level.
You know, when I was a kid growing up and watching college football, and say Michigan, Ohio State, for instance, the Big Ten was terrible, except for them. And they wouldn't play anybody in non-conference most of the time. One year, Ohio State played Oklahoma, but Michigan, most of the time they didn't play anybody. And basically, they had that game would decide who was going to go unbeaten. I think it's better that, 10 wins, you can lose twice and still have a chance to win a national championship because it's a much more competitive game now. I think it's better now. I just think they should go to 16 teams. And like Mike Elko said, it's supposed to be hard to get into the playoff. Go to 16 teams, but factor in a strength of schedule into that.
Obi, thank you, buddy. When we come back on TexAgs Live, John Harris, followed by E.J. Smith, followed by Leroy Burrell. That and more. It's TexAgs. Got a little screwed for John Harris here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That's where we find John Harris, Houston Texans sideline reporter, founder of FootballTakeover.com. Johnny, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, David. How you doing?
I'm good. Tell me about your World Cup experience so far. How demoralizing was that U.S. game?
We talked about this last night on our Texans All Access show right here on Sports Radio 610 in Houston. I think the frustrating thing for me, David, is that, it's one thing to play a team that probably is more skilled overall. I don't know if I'd say more athletic, but more skilled. It's another to play your worst game at the worst time. And I think that's kind of what happened. It just looked like the U.S. was very slow. They were slow in reacting. They were slow in kind of everything they were doing. It didn't feel like, and you can sense this through television. You can sense it while you're at the game. And I've seen this happen in football a lot. You just, they are really slow in comparison to the other team. Look how fast they're reacting. It just felt like Belgium was prepared for everything. They moved faster. They had a higher sense of urgency. The first goal, they're trying to clear it out. There's three U.S. guys, and they look at each other like the Spider-Man meme, like pointing at each other, like, "Hey, you got it, you got it, no, you got it." And then all of a sudden, one of their goal scorers comes down with it, scores a pretty easy goal, and it just felt like it was pretty frustrating. And look, as a member of this organization with the Texans, that is, what are we, 0-7 in divisional playoff round games, and I've been through, I think, 5 or 6 of them at this point. It's kind of frustrating that you get to this point and you've played well, you think you've got the team to turn the corner, and then all of a sudden you go and lay an egg, kind of like we did in New England. In my heart of hearts, I feel like we're a better team than New England is. Now, I don't know if U.S. players are like, in our heart of hearts, we're better than Belgium, but I felt like we definitely were that for New England, and we just gave the game away in some respects. But you got to get over that hump, and the U.S. hasn't been able to do it, and I don't know at this point what's going to be able to do other than just an immense amount of talent infusion over the next 4 years. And I think the looking at the Texans kind of in the same way, like we've added David Montgomery, we've added 3-4 offensive linemen that are much more talented than what we had here the last couple of years. So you throw a bunch of talent at it, and you hope that team chemistry and timing and everything come together, and you can play better in that moment in the round of 16, and for us in the divisional playoff round. And once you get past it, once you prove, okay, we can do this, we can get to the quarterfinals, you can get to the semifinals, then maybe you become a consistent performer there. But until you do it, you're just going to be this team with a bunch of potential that just hasn't been able to get over the hump. And I'm sure there are a lot of college football teams that feel the same way. Like, hey, we're good enough to get here. What's it going to take to get over this threshold? You're going to have so much talent added to the mix that you can overcome anything that happens during a game. And I don't know, the U.S. was really built in a way that it could overcome a 2-goal or a goal deficit after they scored that 1 goal. Belgium was just the better and more skilled team, and the U.S. obviously I don't want to say they shrunk in the spotlight, but their best players, and see if this doesn't sound familiar, their best players, or the one that was supposed to be their best player, played probably his worst game and then got hurt in the second half of a game that they had to have. So, you've got to have things go right, and they just, we got to wait 4 years. Luckily in football, we can wait, 9-10 months or a year. In our case, we can get back to the divisional playoff round. Can we get through it? Can we get past it? Can we get over it? And that's obviously something that we got to be able to do. Look, Buffalo's kind of got the same thing. Theirs is to get to the Super Bowl. They've been to a couple of AFC championship games, but they can't crack the nut that is the AFC championship game to get back to the Super Bowl. So every team seems to have kind of that hill that they've got to get over, but it takes more than just, we keep doing it, we'll eventually get there. No. You need more talent. You need more to be able to get you. It's more than just, we'll show up and, we'll get lucky. No, that's not going to be the case. You got to be talent-wise prepared, and then you've got to make sure that everything goes right in those particular one-off instances. And for the U.S., it didn't. But the World Cup as a whole, David, has been incredible. You know, Argentina's win yesterday was just, I mean, it was sublime. I mean, it's like you're at that stage that I'm going to turn this off. Egypt has won this thing. This thing's over. And then all of a sudden, Argentina turns into Argentina. And you feel like, okay, is that going to come back to haunt them at some point? But Argentina's got Switzerland. And I think they could beat Switzerland 3-1. And then they can move on. And, you know, who knows as they move on. But it has been an unbelievable tournament. And I think for the most part, other than the other night with the United States, I feel like the stars for the teams have shown up. Holland has been incredible. Mbappe is just amazing to watch. And then Messi, I mean, it feels like Messi's been around for 80 years, and yet Messi is a guy that continues to make plays for his team, whether it's club or you know, club here in MLS with Miami, or it's with his country team with Argentina. He's just incredible to watch. And then when he scored the goal, the joy that he had to tie that game up was just amazing. So I think it's been really incredible. And I think we probably have at least 7 of the 8 best teams. You're going to say most talent. I think we got 7 of the 8 best teams remaining in this tournament. So it should be pretty sexy down the stretch.
Johnny, you mentioned the Texans earlier. I want to kind of go back to one of your thoughts. We know that they've built this championship defense. Do you think they've done enough on the offensive side to get that gap a little closer?
Yeah, I think when you look at on paper, yes, David Montgomery, when healthy, is an upgrade over what they had last. Well, they didn't have Joe Mixon last year, so anything really is kind of an upgrade there. But David Montgomery fits the ethos of this team, the way he runs, the way he thinks about ball. It fits, you know. And then it's the offensive line, and they, you know, going into 2025 after they made the Laramie trade, everybody's kind of like, all right, well, we'll see what they do. You know, let's see what they do. I think people were cautiously optimistic. Yeah, you traded Laramie, but okay, you got these draft picks, you got this, and then they went and really didn't devote the resources to the offensive line. I think a lot of people thought they should or thought they could. This year's not that. They went on and got Wyatt Teller. They got Braden Smith. They got veterans that fit their ethos. They drafted Keelan Rutledge, who kind of fits what they want. Fabechi Wewu from out of Oklahoma. He fits what they want. So they've drafted talent, or signed talent. They drafted talent, and they have added depth. And if that offensive line can stay healthy, then I think you're talking about a team that absolutely, without question, can be right where it wants to be, can get over the hump. And then it all comes back to, you know, how does Seven perform in key situations? Throughout his career, he's been pretty good in big games. You know, so last year's playoff was kind of like, what the hell happened? You know, what happened? Are we going to look back 15, 20 years from now and CJ's going to say, yeah, I was playing that game with a broken finger. Or I was playing that game with, you know, a broken toe and I couldn't step in, you know, who knows? It just was so out of character in some respects. So I think CJ still is the right guy. I still believe in him until he makes me not want to believe in him. And that Patriot game was just a really rough first half. But he's got his confidence back. And I think talent-wise, and I think demeanor-wise, culture-wise, I think they've found guys that match up to what's your defensively. And I asked Kate Stover about that. And he's like, you know, in a way only Kate can say it. He's like, I'm bleeping pissed off that I've got to talk about, you know, us not matching the defense. We're sick of hearing about it. And it's like, okay, good. You're sick of hearing about it. Let's make something happen. Let's go, Captain. And if they can do that, if they can match that kind of swarm mentality on the offensive side of the ball, then I think you're talking about a team that can definitely go to the Super Bowl for sure. And, David, I think what's interesting is they're talking about it. They're talking about going to the Super Bowl. You know, Mark and I were talking about this yesterday, 5-10 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago. Nobody really talked about, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. Our guys are talking about going to the Super Bowl. So, okay, you're talking about it. Let's be about it. And let's see what happens really soon.
Talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Live. Johnny, help me, one other Texans thing, help me manage their schedule. When you look at their schedule, how difficult is it, considering the logos that you're playing, but considering where those teams are right now?
Yeah, you know, when the schedule came out, I looked at the back half of the schedule and just went, holy crap. You know, one of the hardest things to do in the NFL, which I don't know that that people kind of understand this, is to go back-to-back road games. That's hard. That is really hard. And we've got 4 of those in the second half of the season where we come out of the bye week, we go to L.A., come back, go to Cleveland the next week. Then we play at home, but then we've got a 2-game stint with Philly and Green Bay at the end of the year. And those are hard to manage, those back-to-backers. And we've got one in the first half of the year where we go to Tennessee, come back, and then fly to London. So those are hard to manage. But we've got 3 of the first 4 at home. But it's Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Dallas. Teams that are going to be able to put points on the board. So, yeah, our defense is going to get tested. But of those 3, offensively, I think we'll be able to manage. And I think if the offense can start kind of gaining some confidence early in the year and put 7s on the board and not 3. When you go back and you look at last year, we moved the ball up and down the field, but we get inside the 1-yard line, we couldn't punch it in. We get inside the 5-yard line, couldn't punch it in. The number of times we had to settle for field goals last year, in the losses in particular, but in every game. We got down to the 1-yard line, I don't know how many times. We lost to Denver on a last-second field goal. We had the ball down at the 2-yard line. Second and goal from the 2, couldn't score. I mean, even a 3 at that point ties the game and goes to overtime. So it was just, there were so many things offensively that just weren't there. And on top of that, CJ in the playoffs obviously didn't have his greatest performance. But if we can turn those 3s into 7s, then I think we got an opportunity. We're going to have to, because it's Buffalo and Cincinnati to start the year. So you got to hope that their offenses are kind of slow to get out of the chute and that your defense jumps all over them, kind of playing off the home crowd. But the schedule is going to be hard. I mean, every year you look at a schedule and you go, whoa, man, okay, we got this, got that. And look, there's a team that surprises that you thought you're going to beat the hell out of. And then there's a team that surprises the other way where you're like, oh, this is an easier game than we thought. All schedules in the NFL are tough. I mean, they're hard. But the fact you got Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, 2 of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league, 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league at a minimum, facing you the first 2 weeks. Now, it's been a house of horrors for Buffalo. And we've only faced Joe Burrow once. We beat him. So hopefully the defense is on point those first 2 weeks. Because we jump out of the chute 2-0, then we go to Indy. And we haven't lost to Indy in a while, so hopefully we can go up there. And then there's Dallas. It's a tough way to start because of the offense you face. But if you can get out of there 3-1, and even if you can just split the next 2, one being in London, I know the division games, but if you can split, you're 4-2 going into the Giants, beat the Giants before the break, you're 5-2. You're sitting pretty to a degree because you're going to have to be going to that last stretch of the schedule. But, it's like looking at SEC schedule. You look for a break, and you're like, man, even Mississippi State might be good. You're hearing all these things about Kamario Taylor, this year from Mississippi State. You're like, oh, man, he's going to be tough to tangle with. It's kind of like looking at SEC schedule. Obviously we don't have the non-conference kind of schedule that teams have, but it's like looking at that. It's like every week you're going to be facing a pro opponent. So it's going to be tough no matter what. But I think the toughest part is just the logistics of facing all those back-to-back road trips and then keeping everybody healthy. If we keep everybody healthy, we should be right in the mix. Obviously, some guys start to go down. Depth gets stretched. You'll see what happens. But as long as 7 keeps us in ball games and isn't throwing a bunch of interceptions, turn the ball over, we should be as talented as any team in the league this year.
Talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Live. Johnny, we were just kind of discussing Texas Tech yesterday at Big 12 Media Days, and Joey McGuire basically asking to play A&M, Texas, SMU, all these in-state teams because, hey, we got great talent in the great state of Texas, and he's not wrong. My whole point of my premise this morning was a little bit to the fact of, all right, sounds cool and all, but for A&M and Texas, does it even make sense, like the risk versus reward for them with a 9-game SEC schedule and already non-conference opponents that would probably be, I think for the fan experience, ranked higher than Texas Tech. But from Texas Tech, I get it. There's not a big risk by taking on an SEC team or an in-state team. If you lose, you still got a Big 12 schedule.
Well, from a Texas Tech standpoint, there are a couple things. Number one, you're kind of in a no-lose situation because if you're going to win the Big 12 and you've played a bunch of just patsy non-conference games, the Big 12 isn't getting you ready for a playoff. I mean, they got housed by Oregon. Oregon didn't play well, and Oregon beat the hell out of them. Texas Tech wasn't ready for that. Offensively, they had no guns in the holster, no pun intended. They just weren't ready for that. So if you play a Texas or a Texas A&M, or you play a high quality opponent at the beginning of the year, even if you lose that game, you have the experience of playing a high level SEC team, a high level college football team that will get you ready and prepare you for what the speed of the game is going to be like once you get to the playoffs. And so from a Texas Tech standpoint, I can absolutely see it. It totally makes sense. Texas and Texas A&M, it's like all those years I remember hearing, Ohio State doesn't play teams from the state of Ohio. They don't play Ohio University. What does Ohio State have to gain from that? If Ohio State loses, it's the biggest upset in the history of the program. If they win, what have they done? They beat a MAC school. I mean, so what? They get nothing. They get nothing from it. Texas Tech's kind of in the same boat. On the flip side, they get everything from it. If they win, oh wow, they got a big win over an SEC team. If they lose, well, they've gotten themselves prepared to go against the rest of the Big 12 and on into the playoff. Texas A&M is kind of like Ohio State. If they win, well, there are a lot of people that expect them to win that game. Now, it's not as much a mismatch as, say, Kent State in Ohio or Akron in Ohio State. But, Texas A&M don't gain a whole lot out of that. I mean, yes, they get the experience of facing a talented team early in the year and take a test, but I think A&M's proven, hell, we'll play Notre Dame, played Miami. They've played quality teams. So if they've already got a couple quality teams on the non-conference, then a third one is just kind of inviting issues, especially if it's one where you can't or you don't gain anything by that. Now, if Texas Tech somehow wins the Big 12, goes and wins the college football playoff, and they've got a couple of, somehow they string together a couple of college football championship years and, they become the Indiana of college football, then Texas A&M, Texas have something to gain by playing them. But you know how these schedules are done. They're done years in advance. And so the timing of that can kind of be off in some sense. I don't disagree with Joey McGuire in the sense that we would all love to see Texas and Texas Tech play, to see A&M and Texas Tech play. But when Texas and Texas A&M don't have anything to gain by it, I think we have found in college football that when college football programs don't have anything to gain by doing something, they're not doing it. They're not going to do it. Why should they? But Ohio State and Texas, they can gain something by playing one another. A&M and Miami, they can gain something by playing one another. A&M and Texas aren't going to get that by playing Texas Tech, at least not as it sits now. Because Texas Tech is a really good Big 12 team, but what does that mean in college football right now? Until Texas Tech were to break through and make a run and win a championship, then I think at some point, okay, yeah, we could gain something by beating Texas Tech in the eyes of the pollsters and all that kind of stuff. But until then, it just doesn't make any sense.
Johnny, last thing for you. What do you think is more important, for Marcel to take a huge step, or for that, I don't want to say huge step, a big step, or the offensive line to gel quickly?
The offensive line. I think the offensive line has got to gel quick. I've said this many, many times that, I've seen it here with the Texans. I've seen it with teams. I go back, I think it was 2010 when Auburn had this guy named Cam Newton, but nobody knew what they had. But I remember going on radio and saying, I don't know what Cam Newton is going to be, but I do know that offensive line has been together for at least a year and a half, 2 years, and that is going to be at least a starting point. And then you put Cam Newton behind him, and Auburn goes to win a national championship in 2010. I think just take Marcel at 2025 level and put him behind an offensive line that gels together quickly. He'll get to another level behind an offensive line that gels quickly. But if all of a sudden that offensive line doesn't come together, Marcel is running for his life too often, they really can't find the offensive balance that they're looking for, run-pass or run-run balance, the different kinds of runs you can have. And now it becomes more on Marcel to play create as opposed to execute play calls. Then I think there can be a lot of trouble. Look, I would love to see Marcel get to the next level, but I think the two go hand in hand. I think the offensive line gets, gels and comes together. I think you'll see a higher level of play from Marcel earlier on. So to me, it's the offensive line. As much as, quarterback plays a big role, all that kind of stuff. You know, and I would say that in Houston too. Yeah, C.J. Stroud has done some really good things. C.J. won't take another step until this offensive line comes together and plays at a higher level than it has the last 3 years. And I think it's definitely capable of doing that. And I think the same for A&M. It's got to come together and it's got to gel. I feel like the talent's there, but gelling and coming together early, I think, gives you a better Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed being better, I don't think happens until that offensive line does that. I don't think he's going to get better while the offensive line struggles, if that makes sense.
Great stuff, Johnny. Enjoy your week, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. Love you, bros. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Love you, bro. John Harris there on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. Kind of talk about that O-line conversation there for a moment. When it comes to your money, your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. Hopefully that right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They are an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise runs deep. And at Paragon, credentials matter, so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It's Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Everybody, David Nuno here from TexAgs, here with some of our new friends from Frog Slayer. We've got the CEO, Ross Morrell, and the VP of Revenue, Jacob Stone. Ross, I want to start off with you. Who is Frog Slayer? What do you all do?
Yeah, Frog Slayer is a custom software, AI and automation company. We're based here in College Station. We've got about 50 employees right here, almost all Aggies. We've been doing this since 2005, about 21 years. Really what we do is we partner with business owners of growing businesses. And our goal is to come in, help them actually realize the promise of technology in their company so they can create a company that is worth more than it is tomorrow, that is today, and run a better business.
Jacob, I do want to ask you what's different about Frog Slayer's approach when it comes to AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't just do AI, we do AI right. And so what that means is we embed ourselves inside of our client's team and we help them plan, build, and ship solutions that they can deploy to a production environment that anyone can use.
All right, Ross, I've got to ask you, why the name Frog Slayer?
Yeah, it's an old riff off Mark Twain quote. So he said, the hardest thing you got to do today is eat a frog. It's best to do it first thing in the morning. So that's kind of our ethos of doing hard things first. And it's also a nice tie into gigging.
Yeah, I love that. Jacob, let's close out. Where can we all find Frog Slayer?
Yes, you can find us online at frogslayer.com.
All right, thank you very much to both of you, Ross and Jacob. Check out Frog Slayer. So you don't know what song this is, do you?
Definitely sounds familiar.
You're out. Nick, you know what it is, right?
I really don't.
God,
But give me
you
a second.
guys
Give me a
suck.
second. Give me a second.
If Rush is playing, everybody's like, oh, Rush. If Motley Crue, hands in the air.
I would throw my hands in the air for both of those.
Wave them like you just don't care.
Sure. Can you give me a hint? Will he ever start
I know
talking?
the lyrics.
No, they're just doing instrumentals today. Marshall?
Oh, it's Eminem.
Mockingbird? Come on, guys.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it was before I was born. I know the Beatles. It was before I was born. I know Jesus before I was born. Like, you're allowed to know things.
Where's Eminem from? Detroit?
Detroit,
Okay.
yeah.
I was about to give Matthew crap because he's from Chicago and should have known that. But
Who's the best rapper from Chicago?
Oh, well, I don't really listen to rap, but...
You can still know.
Yeah, my bad.
we don't go to those meetings, Dave.
Yeah, don't go to those meetings, but I've been told...
Who's the best
a lot of
country star from Chicago?
Country star?
What kind of music comes from out of Chicago? Grunge? No.
I don't really listen to
A lot of rock.
Chicago music.
You don't listen to music?
To Chicago music.
What do you listen to?
Oh, yeah, like 90s, 2000s rock.
Like?
Well, my favorite bands right now...
Right now, from the
probably
90s.
Three Doors Down, Linkin Park.
Okay.
That type of stuff.
All right. You're saying it like you're
Like
you're
old
in the
Lincoln
library.
Park or like new Lincoln Park with the lady?
I like them both, honestly. I know that's
no
a hot
thanks.
take.
Yeah,
but,
no thanks. I'll take the old.
All right, let's talk some football this segment so we don't lose everybody. By the way, a couple things. We got some really big. I'm not going to announce what we got going on, but over the next couple of days, we've got a lot of great content being produced. One secret behind the scenes thing and another secret behind the scenes thing. I think they're going to be great. If you don't follow us on social, you're missing out. Some of that will be social content. Some of it will be exclusive to TexAgs.com. You do not want to miss out on this. And if you haven't signed up for PKO, you're missing out. Preseason kickoff, we still got some spots for it. I know that we're going to have Coach Elko there. I know we'll have Bucky there. I know we'll have Michael Early there. I know we'll have Trev Alberts there. I know we will have some athletes talking there. I know we'll have Mark Weaver talking there. What else do we have going on? We'll have, it'll be like the Oscars celebrating the 2026 football season and beyond. The fall calendar / the entire Texas A&M calendar, July 25th at the MSC. Sign up. Go to TexAgs.com. Hopefully you're a premium subscriber. You can find it and make the noise. You'll sign up. I wanted to do that. I feel like if I introduced the segment that I asked Johnny at the end of that was an organic question that just kind of came up. Like, what is more important? And maybe we'll start it now and get to it later. But what's more important? Marcel Reed to take a big step or the offensive line to gel and really become a, top 6, let's say, in the SEC? And I think you can argue anything you want, but I think the answer is easy peasy. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. Okay? What do you think it is?
I think it's the offensive line.
Nick, what do you think it is?
It's got to be the offensive line.
It's the offensive line! Sometimes my voice gets very high. I don't know. Look at last year. I'm not putting it completely on the offensive line. I understand there's blame to go around everywhere. When you took on some better defenses at the end of the year and the offensive line, which was really good for 90% of the season, what happened at the end of the year? Marcel turned the ball over more. Was it 4 turnovers in his last 2 games? No touchdowns? Okay. You weren't able to run the ball, and Marcel was under pressure. So if we talk out loud and actually take a step back, what we thought of Marcel entering the Texas game, people's opinions changed afterwards, but really some of the cracks were there early. You could see it in the South Carolina game, right? Like and again, you're taking on elite defenders, elite defenders, all right? And that you should hopefully be able to tackle that. Unfortunately, by the end of the season, either they had figured things out against A&M's offense, Marcel made some mistakes, the offensive line made mistakes. So bottom line is, I think if you get no improvement from Marcel Reed, but really good to great offensive line play, at the very least, with a much harder schedule, you're getting what you got last year. Marcel's going to take a step forward. Okay? He's got now he's got a different cast of characters to throw to. He's still got Mario. Mario's going to hopefully be healthy all season long. Isaiah Horton is not KC, but he gives you a different weapon. Offensive line completely new. Hopefully they have time to gel before the meat of the season. If that's the case, I think the answer is easy. O-line play. And I think they would say the same thing. I bet you were to ask the O-line this same question, they'd be like, it's on us, not on Marcel. He's already proven what he can do. And oh, by the way, it's year 3 as a starter. Let's hit a break. We could eventually do a Heritage Film on our next guest, E.J. Smith. We'll talk about his time with the Kansas City Chiefs so far and just looking ahead to what's going to happen in the NFL and his time at A&M. We'll talk to E.J. on the other side. Right now, I want to talk about Heritage Films. They tell people stories. They tell family stories, family business stories, family ranch stories. If you're listening to this show and you haven't called Chance McClain up yet, you're missing out, guys. I really think you owe it to your family to call him up and just find out about the Heritage Films experience. Your family's got a story. He wants to document that story. He's a documentarian. He wants to tell your family story. He's going to ask the questions. He's going to light it up. He's going to edit it. And then 8 to 10 weeks, you got yourself a 2-hour documentary. And you're watching, you're like, dude, this should be on Netflix. Yeah, but it's just about Grandma May. Yeah, well, Aunt May from Spider-Man. It's just Aunt May. Yeah, it's Aunt May. And her story's awesome. Not only is her story awesome, Chance makes it awesome as well. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com, or call them up, 713-893-8341. It's Heritage Films. Now they got the music right. A little Dre and M's, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Our next guest, literally one of the nicest young men I've ever met. Always got a smile on his face, always has great answers, great perspective. EJ Smith joining us here on TexAgs Live. EJ, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, David. How you doing?
I'm great, man. Look, we had a few interviews here at TexAgs. Always it was great, but I remember seeing you at the Combine or the across the street for College Day, and you had this passion for what your future was going to be like, man. So let's talk about it. Now that you're in the NFL, you're working, you're training. What's life like?
It's been great. It's been a great opportunity. I just got back from OTAs, rookie minicamp, and vet minicamp, and so just getting acclimated to being in the league, getting acclimated to the facilities. It's weird being, just 8 months ago I was at Texas A&M, and now I'm at a different program and just continue to pursue my dream. So it's been great.
So are you currently in Kansas City or are you in Dallas?
No, I'm in Dallas right now. So I have about a couple more weeks until I go back for training camp. So I just been out in Dallas just training, getting ready.
Well, let's talk about it. So you get the call from Kansas City, or kind of take me through that whole ordeal. You're waiting on the draft. You get the call later. Kind of take me through the ups and downs, the scary moments, and how it all worked out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that whole weekend was pretty nerve-wracking. Not knowing where I was going to go, not knowing if I was going to get an opportunity as well. And so, I was blessed to have my family with me at the time, especially my little sister. She just kept my spirits up during the whole time, just making sure that my mind was right, making sure I was thinking about the right things. And so when my agent called me towards the end of the draft, he told me the opportunity that I had with the Kansas City Chiefs. And so I talked to my dad about it, and I was like, you know what, let's go do it. And so that was pretty much it. It was pretty quick. I got a chance to talk to DeMarco Murray, who is my running back coach up there. And, they're excited to have me. And, I'm just excited for the opportunity.
So growing up in a household where not only is your dad a Pro Football Hall of Famer, right? But Troy Aikman and, Michael Irvin, these are like uncles to you, right? Like you know them like that. Yeah. So then to fast forward to be joining a team that's kind of like as close to that kind of dynasty as we're going to get in today's modern era of college football, how is it intimidating? Is it cool? Is it like what's that like?
No, it's a great opportunity, I would say. Like I'm very excited just being a part of the Chiefs. Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Pat, and then just being around them, you could just tell that the franchise is just filled with greatness. Filled with a lot of wisdom as well. So really just picking everybody's brains, learning how to be a pro, how to go about it the right way, actually understanding and knowing my assignments to the T, and just being able to perform at my highest level.
Going to a program or a franchise that has championship pedigree, is there anything that jumps out, in your short time with the organization? They're like, oh, okay, this is how this level trains. And I know you grew up with it too. So but in today's era.
Effort. I'll say that's the biggest thing, effort. Giving 110% effort every play, every opportunity that you get. Just coming from Texas A&M, that's what we bred, and just being a part of that there and then, transferring it here is just, I would say that's what's helped me a lot so far. Already being used to that amount of intensity. And so just making sure I'm able to do that on a consistent basis every day and actually showing my value, whether it's on the field with the offense or in special teams.
What have they told you about you specifically, what they want, expect, and need from you?
I would say just coming in at being having a role on the special teams. We have a deep running back room there. And so just being able to show my value where I can. I feel like it's the same situation I had at Texas A&M. And so it prepared me a lot for this time, for this opportunity and this time in this moment. And so just making sure that I carry what I did at Texas A&M to at the Chiefs in order just to help the team, be able to achieve what, we all want to do is to make it to the Super Bowl. So
was your time at A&M, was it ever, I don't want to use the word difficult, but like you had to buy your time, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
Definitely. I would say it was difficult. Difficult in terms of, working hard every day, not knowing if I was going to get the chance, to be able to show my talents on Saturdays. But also just being a team player, making sure that I'm staying positive no matter how I feel that day. And just knowing that when my opportunity does come, then I have to make the most out of it. That was my mindset every day, just making sure I'm a great teammate, being able to show, my kind of leadership, through that, and which was showing it through my actions every day.
I want to follow that up because I think that's one of the best things about you, EJ, is that, great players show that they're great players, but you had to show it in a different way that you showed it because you were such a great teammate. And then when you got your opportunity, you seized the day. And to me, that is a testament of the way you were raised, the way you go about your business. To me, that's an impactful moment for a program.
Yeah, everything that you go through is for your own good if you take it that way. And so no matter the circumstances I was in, I knew that this was going to help me out in the future no matter what. Being able to just perform, just to make myself better, not focusing on my circumstances at all, but just focusing on the things I need to get better at every day. And so when that time and that opportunity does come, then okay, I'm ready for it because I know I put the work in.
What does your Aggie ring mean to you? I think it might have been the Miami game. I forget, but your family was there.
No, it was Arkansas.
No, but wasn't there a game that your dad came out and you took some pictures with your Aggie ring on the sidelines before a game?
Oh, that might have been Sanford then, if I did that.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, being an Aggie, being able to go through what I went through when it came to, getting my master's degree at the MRE program. And then also on top of that, being able to play big-time SEC football in front of everybody in Kyle Field, on the road. It's an amazing opportunity. Obviously my older sister, Reagan, she's an Aggie as well. And so just being able to, share that ring with her is a great opportunity. And it means a lot because I really put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in order to get that ring. So
hopefully you have a very long NFL career, and it's amazing. But what do you want to do aside from football? Are there other, obviously you got your master's here from A&M. Are there things that you've thought about in the professional business world?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I would say, I'm very entrepreneurial minded, so I love to invest. I plan on going into, learning more about, AI. That's some of the stuff that I've been doing on the side as well. Just networking with people, building relationships. Not just building relationships for financial gain, but truly just, being around great people and being able to understand, where they came from and what caused them to be in the fields that they're in now. What motivates them, to do what they're doing. On top of that, too, I really want to go into the private market sector. So learning more about private markets, whether it's, venture capital or private equity, and just soak in as much information as I can right now.
EJ, what do you think about the current A&M running back room, and what do you expect from those dudes?
I expect excellence from them. We set the bar last year and the year before that. So they just, I just pray. Well, I know that they, they're going to do great things, but I also just pray that they're able to show it. And obviously, you have Rube, you have J-Mo, you have Tiger. I don't know too much about the freshmen that just came in, but I just know that those three guys, they know what to do. They know their assignment. They know their alignment, and they know that they have to give out effort. And so, just because of that, I know they're going to show great leadership, and I know that they're going to put their team on their backs when they need to, because that's just what we do.
What is something about Rube we may not know? Because we've seen flashes of brilliance, right? What is something about Ruben that we maybe have not really been able to experience or see?
Yeah, I haven't seen Rube's all. Honestly, I don't think. Just because, he just came back from a foot injury last year. And so it just takes time for that to heal. It takes time for him to get comfortable, get back on, get back to where he used to be. And honestly, even with that, Rube's versatility, his quickness, his ability to be able to see tight gaps. I saw that from the jump. And then when you add that combination with Tiger and J-Mo, his versatility is nice as well. He's very quick, very agile, makes guys miss. And, Tiger, he's that bulldozer. He's going to put his shoulder pads down. He's going to hit somebody. And so just that combination of guys, that's what you need on a team.
EJ, last thing for you. When you think about this A&M program and the trajectory, what do you think over the next couple of years? This year and the next couple of years? Coach Elko seems like he's got him going in the right direction.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest thing for us these past 2 years have been our inability to finish. And, that's something that I harp on. And I feel like we could have done better, especially last year. And with that, I mean, as long as they continue to just stay together, enjoy each other's company, and actually push each other on a day-to-day basis, we're going to be just fine. Especially with Coach Elko's offense and defense, like the way that he runs the program, we strive for excellence, and that's what we expect every day, and that's what we should be getting on Saturdays. So that's what I expect, and I'm excited to see what they could do.
Well, EJ, I'm excited about seeing you on Sundays. I'm excited about seeing your growth, and I hope to get you back here on the show soon. And best of luck to you, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Definitely. No, thank you. It was great talking to you.
Great talking to you too, sir. EJ Smith there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We will come back with a short final segment of the 9 o'clock hour before Leroy Burrell joins us here on TexAgs Live. Right now, when insurance matters most, who's going to answer your call? That's the Rollo Insurance Group. At Rollo Insurance, you get a personal agent with a direct number, not a call center, not an automated system. They are the official insurance provider of TexAgs Live and TexAgs Radio back in the day, and the difference is real. 60 offices in the great state of Texas. This studio right here is the Rollo Insurance Studio. Whether it's home, auto, or business, or ranch insurance, start a relationship with an expert who puts you first. They become familiar with your unique situation. When you need advice or have a claim, you'll speak directly with someone. I talk to Morgan. I just chit-chat with him about life. We talk about everything. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. Or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That's 888-44-ROLLO. Everyone, David Nuno here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever. And also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group. And they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no-pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. This caught my attention. Travis Travels on the YouTube page. I don't know if he's an Aggie fan or if he's a fan of another place. He's never talked on TexAgs before. I guess part of the headline today was best quarterback wide receiver duos in college football. And there's an article. No, it was our friend
J.D. Pickell.
J.D. Pickell, thank you.
Right here.
Who put him in his top 10. Okay. And he had Marcel and Mario Craver at number 6. And Travis Travels, who travels a lot, says, best quarterback wide receiver duo, ? Marcel's an interception machine. Let's be honest. Well, Travis, let's be honest about you. Actually, I'm kidding. Let's be honest about that. If you actually, I just want you for a moment to listen what I'm saying. First off, I didn't make the list. J.D. Pickell did. He's a national talk show host for On3. I didn't make the list. Mario Craver's stats alone would put him as one of the better wide receivers in all of college football. Yay? Nay? Everybody agree? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure we're good there. Marcel Reed, was he not a Heisman contender until the Texas game?
He was.
Okay. All right. Can I see that top 10 list again? Pretty please. All right. I agree with 1, 2. Yeah, look, I haven't seen Darian Mensah play with Malachi Toney, but how can you not? Arch and Cam, sure. Dante Moore, sure. CJ Carr, sure. Marcel there at 6. Okay, Josh Hoover. Like I don't see, the Satania one and Mateer. Like, why wouldn't he be in the top 10? We're talking about Mateer was an interception machine too, right? So we're talking about duos, and if your team makes the playoffs in a big boy conference and your quarterback is leading them there, and yes, he had some interceptions. You're not wrong. He threw too many interceptions last year, 4 at the end. That is what it is. But if you don't think they're one of the best duos, then okay, that's just your opinion. But you said let's be real. That is a real assessment from a real national correspondent. Travis Travels. All right, you had something for me?
Yeah, just quickly, Buckyball is catching the attention of everyone, not just A&M fans, but also former NBA basketball players, as Isaiah Thomas, former Celtics and Kings mostly.
Not the Hall of Famer.
Not the
Hall
Hall
other
of Famer,
one who was excellent. I think a 2-time NBA All-Star, if I remember correctly.
Lefty, point guard, late second-round pick. He went on Twitter last night asking if Texas A&M would host him at an open gym, and A&M basketball team responded with a little handshake, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, I sent him a DM saying, hey, come on TexAgs. And I don't know if he knows this. I'm undefeated in one-on-one basketball in College Station. I've had 2 one-on-one matchups, and I'm undefeated. I'm a defensive specialist, all right?
Okay.
So, Isaiah Thomas, if you want, I can play defense when we do, what's the name of the game here in the other room? What do we call that game? The little
Pop a shot.
Pop a shot. Oh, block that shot. When we come back on TexAgs Live, we're going to have Leroy Burrell in studio. He was early for the interview. I love when coaches are early. Coach Henry was always early. We've got Coach Burrell early. We'll chit-chat with him about the transition from Auburn to Texas A&M, that and more. You're listening to the world-famous TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Our next guest, I wouldn't call him my buddy. Well, he's my buddy. I may not be his buddy, but Leroy Burrell is in studio. I had the great pleasure of covering him when I was at Channel 13 for a long time. He is now the new head coach at A&M's men and women's track and field team. Coach Burrell, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you for having me. It's fantastic to be back. Consider this close to home.
Yeah.
And just really, really honored with the opportunity to succeed Coach Henry. He's a legend. I hope to get somewhere in the universe, I guess you'd say, of what he was able to accomplish here at Texas A&M. And I'm really looking forward to me and my family ingratiating and, diving into the Texas A&M family and learning the culture and being a big part of everything athletics here. So we're really excited about it. And, God's been great to me and me and my family. And this is a journey that I'm really excited about and look forward to taking.
One thing about Coach Henry is, like, sometimes when coaches have been somewhere for a long time, they're kind of like, all right, it's time to go. He was at the top of his game at the very end. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, a little over a year ago, won a national championship on the men's side, and the women's team's always been a perennial top 10, top 5 team. So big shoes to fill, but we're going to work really hard and really honor his what he's built, not only just on the athletic side, but the facilities and all of the investment and growth that he is employed here is it's second to none, and I'm really looking forward to putting my spin on it, but honoring the past.
As a Houston guy myself, it's interesting. Sometimes College Station, it feels like a completely different world, but it sometimes feels like a suburb of Houston. The way the highways, like, we're right, like, you can be in Houston in an hour.
Exactly. Well, I learned, and I don't think you recognize this as a Houstonian, and I still own my home in Houston, but I live on the south side of town. That 249 is called the Aggie Expressway. And I was like, wow, we have our own freeway too? I would imagine that sometime I hope in my lifetime, the two communities, the two cities will get a little closer to each other as far as subdivisions, things along that nature. They're always building something here, so I'm sure they're going to build right along that corridor.
Yeah, they absolutely are. All right, so you told me at the break this kind of happened fast. Why Texas A&M?
Well, it's always good to be welcomed. It's always good to be sought after. And so I got the call, and quite honestly, it was a no-brainer. I've been coming up here many times with my Houston squads, a couple times a year, and from the competitive nature of this program and to the investment that the Texas A&M community has made in this program, as far as the facilities and resources are concerned, it's second to none. And so to get an opportunity to oversee all of that, you don't have to think about it very often, very much, I should say. And really, when you calculate the whole equation, there are only about 3 programs that have the resources and the support you have here. So when that opportunity came, I could come back to Texas, place where I spent the majority of my life, and run the best program in Texas. It was a no-brainer.
So you have the interesting perspective of seeing the changing landscape in college athletics from 3 different perspectives the last few years.
Absolutely.
So kind of take me through that as this NIL era starts in 21, your time at Houston, to go into the SEC in Auburn, and they have a lot of resources, obviously, and they're a proud program, to now to A&M. Just kind of take me through that lens of you're kind of living the brand at different stops.
Exactly. It's kind of interesting when you really extend it a little bit. You start with all of the change that occurred after COVID. COVID really had a unique, historic effect on collegiate athletics. And being at the University of Houston and dealing with that there was a challenge. But, I think that brought out quite a bit of creativity and ways of kind of managing things. But then the changes started to occur, with the lawsuits in Austin and all of the other things that hit, and not navigating those. And then the perspective of going at a school that went from a group of five to a Power Five. That occurred in my time, or was what we were preparing for that at Houston. Then to get the call to go over to Auburn and kind of see that thing play out. And I'll never forget one of the first meetings that I sat in at Auburn was an NIL meeting. And we talked about NIL at Houston, but we didn't have NIL because NIL meant nil for us because that's how much money we had. so we went. I went into my first meeting, and guy who hired me, Alan Green, who's now at Pitt, went around the table. Hey, how much you think you're going to need? And the numbers they were talking about, I was like, wow, am I supposed to be here? My goodness, amazing. Really? Is that what we're talking about? and to go from that, and then to see what resources there were available, and then go through the process of actually trying to tap into some of those and raise the money necessary to accumulate the squad that you're looking to accumulate. To go through that whole process was really interesting. A big life lesson, and some of the things that I'm looking forward to doing here at Texas A&M.
Something tells me the type of athlete you recruit probably doesn't change, but has it changed because of this era?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of interesting because the resources that you can utilize on your team from the university has tripled, I guess you'd say, doubled in some cases, and tripled on the women's side. When I was at Houston in first 2 years, I believe, 2 years at Auburn, men's track had 12.6 scholarships, women's track had 18. Well, now at Texas A&M, we have 35 and 45. So that's a huge difference in the amount of resources and scholarship athletes you have on your team. But at the same time, you have roster limits. So now that 35, that's the max of your roster. Before you had 12.6, but you can have an unlimited roster. So you were selling things like, hey, you'll get a roster spot, you'll get gear, you'll be able to eat in the CAF, you'll get support, things of that nature. Well, now it's everybody's getting a full scholarship. So how good can you be? How good can you help me to become? And with the most talented kids, proven scores at the NCAA, what NIL opportunities are you gonna help me acquire?
How do you feel about dual sport athletes, and maybe not at the collegiate level, because I think it becomes difficult, but coming up and maybe at the collegiate level?
Well, I think at the high school level, it's really important. I think it's really good to be a well-rounded athlete, not just athletic skill, but also athletic ability. The more movement you incorporate, in my opinion, the more you reduce your susceptibility to injury. So I think it's really good for athletes to move in different directions, different ways that accompany individual sports. But it is a challenge because nowadays you have to really be you have to be extremely adept coming out of high school. Like if you're not a 5-star no doubter, opportunity to come to a place like Texas A&M or even the SEC, it's not like it used to be where you can bring someone in and develop them. A lot of the development, I'd say, let me put it this way. I think the fact that everybody has as many scholarships as they have, and with the transfer portal, it's democratized the sport. And it's not just track and field. I think it's every sport. So you're going to see some really talented athletes at your D2, at your lower level. And as they perform, then they'll get the opportunity to come to Texas A&M or other SEC institutions. And I think that's what you're seeing happening in collegiate athletics in general.
What would you say your style is as a coach?
I am, I'm not a micromanager. I guess we'll kind of start from the negative. I'm not one who's going to oversee every single aspect of every one of my assistant coaches' workouts, training, recruiting. I feel you hire great people, you assign them to a task, and you let them go do their tasks the best way they know how. We deal with 90 some odd athletes, and each one has their own individual need, and we need to work on assessing how we help them fulfill that need. And I think that comes with one-on-one relationships, and it's very difficult for me as the head coach to have those one-on-one relationships. I'll know everybody, but I won't know the complete story, and I expect my assistant coaches to get to the complete story.
You coming in at an interesting time. The portal's open. You've got kind of give me a micro and a macro view of what your next 6 to 8 months looks like.
Well, first and foremost, we have to fill quite a few slots.
Yeah.
And we're working really hard to do so. We've hosted recruits all this week. We're currently hosting a recruit. We will host 3 more towards the back end of this week. So that's the immediate concern. We have 12 slots to fill on the women's side. When I came in, we had 6 slots on the men's side, and we've since filled a few. So we're going to work to fill those with the best kids possible. And with my spin on where I think I'd like the team to go, I feel like on the men's side we don't have the kind of depth I'd like to have on the men's short sprints, and so we're efforting to fill those roles. On the women's side, we just really need people who can score. But our goal is to bring people in here who can make an immediate impact. And of the 35 and 45, usually you settle into about 10 to 15 who can get to the national meet on both sides. I think A&M took 31 athletes to NCs. So that number does hold true. And of those, we got to have 8 to 10 who can score. And if we have 8 to 10 who can give us some big points, then we'll be fighting for a trophy. And that's the goal.
It's one of the things Coach Henry would always tell me on this show is like, hey, you can be good during the regular season, but it matters scoring at the very end.
Absolutely. I think that's the case in all sports. It's just that, when you're in a team sport, you can kind of slowly build your resume, and you can kind of really predict how you think things will go. Whereas in our sport, you might be able to put up a mark, but is it windy? What conditions? What's the situation? And so I think you have to show what you can do and prove it during the championship season. So our athletes are going to hear a lot from me. Yeah, show us, but you got to prove it. Show us in practice, but prove it by doing it at nationals when it matters most. The other thing they're going to hear a lot from me is, I need you to be at your best when it matters most, and so which really falls into that show and prove situation as well.
What do you think about these facilities?
Fantastic, palatial.
Yeah.
I walked up the stairs to the track facility, and I was thinking, boy, I feel like I'm walking into the Supreme Court here. But I guess it is the Supreme Court of track and field. Because, it doesn't get much better than this. You're talking Oregon, and of course they've got de facto national stadium there. Yeah. Our friends down the road, yeah. They've got it pretty nice there. Pretty much the place in Texas that a lot of kids aspire to because the state meets held there. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe work on that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Work on that a little bit. And then the new facility that was opened up in Georgia is really impressive. Nebraska's got a really good facility. There aren't very many places that have anything close to what we have. And I have the really good fortune and blessing, I'd say, of having a window overlooking the most expansive track and field facility in the world. When you factor in the track, the facility itself, the building, the stadium, the indoor track, it's just fantastic.
Thinking of myself as you're, hosting these recruits, this is all new for you too. So it's important to have people around you because, but I also think your relationship building is why people would choose to come to Texas A&M beyond the bells and whistles.
Yeah. Well, that's important. Everybody has, when you boil it down, everybody has what you need. You need a track, you need a good weight room. But really what the difference is the people. And so that's where the staff and all of the support people, everybody that touches every aspect of the program needs to be in one accord, pulling in the same or rowing in the same direction, just trying to do everything in their power to move the program forward. The good thing is this program has had that for years, and we just need to readjust to the changing landscape and just be prepared for the things that will come our way. And I think there's no place more equipped to adapt to the changing landscape than Texas A&M University.
Last thing for you, the competitor as an athlete, is it similar as the head coach? Or is it kind of a different version?
No, it's a different dynamic. I tell people, a lot of people bring up all of these, look at this video, what you did in high school, in college and as a professional. And I tell people all the time, that doesn't really matter. My job is to go and identify the athletes who can make the podium, win the medals, and help score some points for Texas A&M, and then shepherd their careers to that point. And of course, I can provide an anecdote, some experience, for an athlete at the very highest level, or really through the whole process. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, what I did happened 30 years ago, and this is a whole new world. There are whole new processes and procedures. There are completely different ways of doing things. We're a lot smarter, and we have much more technology at our disposal. So I need to learn how to manage all of that and help athletes reach their potential with those new tools.
Well, Coach Burrell, we're super excited about the future. I'm so happy to have you here in studio. Can't wait to get you here during the season.
No, I'll be back.
Thank you, sir. Leroy Burrell here on TexAgs Live. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Class up the joint from the gold medal to an award-winning segment. In case you missed it, Sydney and Kaylee.
That's
Hello,
right.
friends.
Hello.
Clev, what's up? Dryer, what up?
Hello. How are you?
Doing a show. It's good. It's been a fun show.
It has.
I had EJ Smith on, who I love.
He was really good.
I had Leroy Burrell on. I had John Harris. I know you were,
Yes.
tuned into that. Braden Gall, Olin. It's been a great show. And now you ladies are here.
Yeah, making it even better.
What did I miss this week?
Well, there's actually something going on today. It is QB1's birthday today. So that's exciting.
Today's Marcel's B-Day?
It is.
Happy B-Day, Marcel.
And actually, yesterday was Mike O'Reilly's birthday. So 2 captains.
Congratulations. Happy birthday. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now.
That was an awkward pause.
Some sports news that you might have missed.
Okay.
The McNeese basketball manager.
Oh, I know this dude. Yeah. The
Amir
funny-looking
Khan?
dude guy. I mean, he
Aura.
got the
His
the
nickname is
music.
Aura.
That's his nickname?
Yes.
But he's like the beat, the
Yeah,
the music
that's
guy.
what he got famous for.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like he entered the transfer portal because he's now going back to LSU to be with Will Wade.
Was he with Will Wade initially? Yeah, he was,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Did he go to NC State too?
He was at McNeese, followed him to NC State, and then went back to McNeese last year before the tournament. And now he's going to be an LSU Tiger.
I can't read that comment. Can you read it to me, Nick?
It says, "Pro just doing anything to avoid graduating and getting a damn job."
Bro doing anything to avoid graduating and getting a damn job. Hey, I want that gig.
I know. I would
Nah.
love that. He
No.
actually got
Baton Rouge.
famous because he said that he would do anything for that basketball team. And then that's whenever he started playing the music on the what's it, jukebox?
Jukebox, yeah.
boombox?
From back in the day.
Boombox.
Not jukebox,
Boombox.
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 Jukebox
Like
is
a
like
big
stationary.
speaker.
Yeah. But if I remember correctly, and you may want to fact check this, I feel like he was getting a bunch of NIL offers that were like good money to like.
I think Buffalo Wild Wings, maybe? Because he had a Buffalo Wild Wings boombox at one point.
Did he?
He had a bunch of offers after he became famous from that. But anyways, I thought it was kind of funny because it's like he entered the transfer portal.
I think we got to do some social content with him when they come. Or are they coming here or are we going
I
there?
would
don't
love
remember.
that.
Anyway.
He had a funny quote, though. He said, "If they kept manager stats for rebounding and wiping up wet spots on the court, I put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers."
Did he tweet that? Or like,
He said it.
who
He said
interviewed
it in
him?
an interview.
Who interviewed him?
I don't even know.
right,
but isn't that funny?
We're going to get him on the show.
That would be awesome.
I'll let you ladies
We'll
interview
have him on in case you missed it.
Yeah, you guys
That's
should
a
set
good
it
idea.
up. Do a Zoom, boom.
I'll DM him next week.
Oh, I guarantee you he responds, okay? Because he wants to do an interview, of course.
Of course. Well, we've also been talking about College Football 27. It comes out tomorrow. But one funny thing I feel like is that Deion Sanders is not in the video game.
I heard about that. He said something like they couldn't afford him or something?
He said, if I'm not in the game, they're probably not paying enough. Which is interesting to me.
Can you create a player, though, or a coach? Because, like, back in the day, you could, like, I haven't played video games since before you guys were born, like, for reals. You could create players and make it look semi-like you. Can you create Deion?
I don't know, but I don't think so.
Or back in the
create
day, I'm talking like MJ days, Michael Jordan days. They would do a guy with his jersey, or like they would actually change this number. It would look like Michael. It would play like Michael, but his name would be like Bob Henry.
Oh.
Yeah, they would do a fake player. So
Yeah, I don't think you can do that anymore. Well, there are 7 head coaches that are not in the game.
Oh.
And he is one of them.
Anybody else famous?
Mario Cristobal, Bill Belichick.
Okay. I bet you Jordan Hudson's like, nah, you can't be in it. Not paying enough as well.
Yeah, and then a few other ones.
Jordan Hudson, by the way, the girlfriend. I believe
Yes.
that's her name.
Yes.
Not Jennifer Hudson. That would be a different lady.
Yes.
Thank you for agreeing.
It's being released tomorrow, June 9th.
Are we going to be
Football
playing games with
27.
our guys doing that too at some point?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Am I allowed to ask that on the air? I don't know if that was like behind.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to purchase the video game and then we'll get them to
Or we get our friend the LSU manager to get it donated.
Oh, yes. Oh, that would be awesome. They could play video games with Aura.
Does that
Pass
help
the
LSU
station
or
around.
us in that case? Yeah, never mind.
Never mind. Also, Monster Energy, there's a big scandal on Twitter right now. They're scamming the Big 12.
They're scamming the Big 12.
As people are saying, Monster Energy is scamming the Big 12. So there's $20 million per year. Allegedly. $20 million per year gets the Big 12 Monster
energy, like Big 12 title sponsor. They have Monster patches on their jerseys. The Monster Energy logo is going to be on fields and courts. And this is for football and men's and women's basketball. And so it divides out to roughly $1 million per school. And some people are saying that the SEC and the Big Ten wouldn't even answer the phone for this kind of deal.
So hold on. Who is scamming? So the Big 12 is accepting this money.
Yes.
So the Big 12 is maybe not a scam. The Big 12 just doesn't realize what their value could be.
Yes. I guess.
Or they're just like, whatever money we can get, we'll take.
Yeah.
Right? And the SEC's like, our starting number to do all that is
way more.
$50 billion.
Yeah.
Whatever, I just made up.
I feel like it's a lot of logos for not a lot of money.
Yeah. As we like to say here, we do Catalyst Energy because they're the top dogs in the country. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can text us on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line, 979-693-1150. Sorry, you were saying?
Catalyst does not scam.
No, they're not scammers. We're equal opportunists. We're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know them. I know Chip. All right, anyway, continue.
And then the last thing we have is yesterday Clayton Freshcorn announced that he got engaged. So with
Congratulations. I got to tell you guys, without you, I wouldn't know birthdays, engagements, little managers doing things. Like, I would not know these things.
That's what we're
That's
here
why
for.
we bring it to you.
God, I wish I could have something that in case you missed it, but I don't know things.
You can't think of anything? Any alien updates, maybe?
Actually, yes, there was an article I read this morning that from, what's the big publication in England? The Guardian, I think it is.
Daily Mail, UK Daily Mail.
One of those, okay? Said that President Trump shared with one of their authors real alien disclosure.
Oh.
I don't know if it's real. It could be AI. I don't know. But we're about to find out about what we've been trying to find out for like 2 months.
Yeah.
That, E.T.'s been hanging out in Baton Rouge.
Maybe
as a manager. Sorry, what? I'm kidding.
I do have one more thing. I know y'all were talking about it before, but Isaiah Thomas, we're hoping that he comes to A&M and gets to meet with the basketball team and play on their court.
So I DM'd him.
Oh my gosh.
I want to get him on the show. On the show. Sorry, I contacted his publicist. I reached out to try to get him on the show. All right. Why did you say it like that?
Because I don't know. The way he worded that was funny.
I DM'd him.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you guys DM him?
Well, that would be fine if we did it.
Yeah. All right, why don't we see who he responds to first? Ready?
You want to try that?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. All right.
I'm down
And
to do
whoever
that.
gets the response gets the interview.
Okay, let's do
Deal?
it. Deal.
Or one-on-one basketball.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe 10-20 might be the way to go every once in a
I
while. We got a
kinda
little
like
bit more
it.
time, right?
Mhm.
The only part is we don't get you on the rewind now.
Oh, it's okay.
Uh,
My
okay.
favorite part was John Harris. already.
John Harris was great.
And Jason Howell. Soon.
He hasn't happened yet.
I know, soon.
We may cut him.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Milliken Reserve Time, Farm to Table Community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms. They have wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They have 2,600 acres of open space. They've got beautiful trails, farms, you name it. And they want to connect families and nature to each other. When you go to Milliken Reserve, you can do all the great outdoor activities, from hiking to biking to canoeing to kayaking to equestrian trails to evening yoga to summer camps, music festivals, farmer market tours, and much, much more. To learn more about a Conservancy membership, all you need to do is go to millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank, the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan, College Station. They are committed to helping our community prosper by offering you a wide array of personal and business banking solutions, specifically designed to help build financial success and confidence and momentum on your side. With that, we go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. I hear Jason Howell, and I hear music in the background. I like it. I want more of it. Thanks for laughing.
Hello?
I don't think we're on the air right now, Jason.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, I'm just along for the ride.
How busy have you been recently? I haven't talked to you, I feel like, in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, things have been pretty active. July, you're starting to see things slow down. Targets come off the board. But Mike Elko and that staff, man, they got things rolling at high energy. And, as things slow down in 27, the focus shifts a little bit in 28. Things are good. Just celebrate a little 4th of July weekend. Had a good time, ate a lot of food, got full, and spent some quality time with friends and family, man. How about you?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good 4th. It was nice to be with our family. I want to kind of, I know every week I feel like there's a little building piece to this recruiting, this 27 class, right? And sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean they're adding guys. I mean, some guys have chosen to go other places, but I still feel like things are starting to get a little bit more clear. Let's talk about this 27 class, where A&M is currently, their place in the country, but also the staying power of what they've done so far.
Yeah, number 1 in the country right now, and you've got 5 stars on the offensive line. You've got 5-star playmaker at receiver. You've got edge guys, linebackers. You got 5 stars at every level of the defense. Overall, you've got depth and quality on the offensive line, D-line, and those receivers and DBs, man. Those are groups that are going to be elite of the elite in the country. As number 1 in the country, you're number 1 in the SEC. You got some schools trying to unseat you there a little bit. Notre Dame's made a run. Miami has had some push, and then you got the guys over in Austin that they're making a run at some 5 stars. But overall, I mean, if you're looking at addressing needs and everything, A&M is right where they want to be as you're wrapping things up for the summer and you're gearing up for the fall and the fights that you're going to be dealing with, week to week on the field and the recruiting trail there. So you're in a good spot and as well positioned as you can be to take on anything that may arise. So it's a well-rounded, strong group. I think if you're looking at one of the unanswered questions, running back is the one spot we continue to eyeball and see what happens. And one of the big targets left on board or left undecided is at that position. So we'll see what happens.
You alluded to it a moment ago, but some guys have picked other places. How firm do you think some of these commitments are? Because I feel like a couple guys, it feels like the door isn't open, but it's not closed. Am I reading the tea leaves correctly?
Well, I think Josh Dobson's quote got taken a little bit, a little bit further than it was meant to be. I think he was just saying, hey, look, it's a long way to signing day. I'm going to still have schools getting after me. He committed to South Carolina, and I think that's where things are right now. I do leave that door open, not because of what he said, but just because the landscape of college football, South Carolina, Beamer's got some questions to answer. And if he's not winning, you could, that seat's already hot, and it can get hotter as the season goes on. And even if he's still there, if that seat's, looking pretty warm, looking pretty bad, then you could see a guy like a Dobson look around. I think, A&M, there's a few guys at different positions that that you could see them circle back on. You may see like offensive line. You saw Ismail Kamara go ahead and make a decision to Texas. I'm not necessarily pointing him out, but they've had a number of guys, a number of targets over the course of the year and the recruiting cycle that you could see them kind of continue to kick the tires. Yeah, like I alluded to there with Dobson. Some of these schools that may not be meeting the expectations they had going into the season, A&M. Hopefully they're in the position to play some offense, and if they've got a spot they want to shore up a little bit, that's something that you may see them do with some of those guys that they're familiar with. I know a guy like Jordan Agbanoma that's committed to Nebraska who visited, or Nate Carson who visited in the spring and committed to South Carolina recently. I mean, you could see some of those names start to surface, but right now I think it's kind of wait and see. We're all speculating on what could happen as opposed to what is happening with some of those guys you're circling back on, and they may just decide, look, we're good. We like what we got, and we're staying pat and looking to focus our efforts elsewhere. So, and then of course, coming up this week, you got another big decision with one of the guys that visited first weekend of official visits at the end of May in Mekhi Allen. So he decides on the 11th. That's something to keep an eye on for A&M fans. I mentioned it in my 3 things on Friday. He's the one guy that I probably feel the best on of the remaining targets, and that included, I think, Kamara at that time, and you got Landon Williams-Callis at running back, and Jaden Fields, who A&M had kind of backed off a little bit on, or well, I don't want to say backed off. Others were prioritizing a bit more, that's. So I think you're looking at like a Mekhi Allen, Landon Williams-Callis as kind of the 2 undecideds right now, and Mekhi's got a decision date with a few finalists, including A&M, South Carolina, and Texas, and Landon. We'll see what happens there. He hasn't set a date yet.
You know what? I think it's A&M's in such a cool spot to where they can be selective, right? Like, if they have a spot for a particular guy that's a no-brainer for somebody else, great, but they don't have to go all in on some of these guys that you mentioned.
Yeah, and shoot, there's guys that they could uncover during the season. Always look for those first 3 weeks, first 3 weeks of the season, see some of that senior tape come back. And we didn't see it last year, but we saw it with Nelson McGuire a couple years ago. We've seen guys emerge, like there was a defensive end that went to Oregon a couple years ago that emerged as a big target for a lot of schools, and so there's guys that can come out of nowhere. There's storylines to continue to follow in 27. But A&M is in a great position to, like you said, if they don't add another piece to this puzzle, they're a top, they're number 1, 2, whatever in the country. They're one of the top elite recruiting classes with 5 stars all over the place, and they've addressed just about every spot on the field, and you still got a long way to go till signing day.
Jason, anything that we haven't discussed that potentially to watch out for as the season approaches?
I touched on it, but the 2 things that I would watch are just them circling back on a few guys and a prospect or 2 emerging in the fall. Guys who hit growth spurts or tested well, needed some tape, things like that, and those would be the 2 things that I'd watch as far as this class. But otherwise, I think, you're holding on to what you got, and you're trying to take care of business on the football field.
All right, Jason, let's hit a break. We'll come back, look ahead at 2028 to close out Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank, right here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. Recruiting Country brought to you by American Momentum Bank here on TexAgs Live. All right, Jason, let's look ahead. Jason Howell still on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Let's look ahead at 2028. Who are some intriguing in-state prospects that you're keeping an eye out for?
Yeah, I think you gotta look at Dylan Mitchell, their athlete, wide receiver, one of the fastest guys in the country. On the track as well as the football field, just a dynamic playmaker for one of the state's top teams. They made it all the way to the state championship game last year, and he was a big part of that. He's a home run threat every time he touches the ball, and he has some strong Texas A&M ties there. You got James Foster out there at safety at Lancaster, one of the big, versatile talents in the secondary. Texas A&M had him on campus a few times during the fall. I think right now A&M is playing a little bit catch up there with SMU and Texas. A couple of schools really coming on strong there, but he is familiar with Aggie land. He loves Kyle Field, and he is a safety that I got a feeling he's one I could see Mike Elko and company, really starting to ramp things up with and get after. He's one of the top, 2 or 3 talents in the state. Of course, at TexAgs, we got Armani Edwards, offensive tackle out of Cy Ranch, at number 1 in our rankings. He's another one. He's been to A&M multiple times. He's got some pretty strong connections to A&M, and of course you've got the coaching staff doing a phenomenal job there. But I know Cade McCarty's kind of been in his ear a little bit. And when you have the ringleader of that 27 class in your ear, you got a pretty good spokesman for A&M right there, kind of leading that charge on a peer-to-peer level, and that's not a bad thing at all.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. All right, Jason, some national top prospects are becoming familiar with Texas A&M. Give us a little bit of some of the national reach that A&M's having and how those 28s are responding.
Yeah, I'm going to start off with quarterback Donald Tabron II out of Cass Tech in Detroit, Michigan. 5-star talent. He put on a show at Texas A&M summer camp. Coach Lynch, Coach Wiggins, all those guys have done a phenomenal job getting out early, targeting him. They're not alone. Ohio State, USC, LSU. He's got a bit of everybody on his trail, and he's, as one of the leaders at one of the top programs in the Midwest and the country, Cass Tech. He's a high-profile prospect, but he visited multiple times. He visited in the spring. He was at A&M in the fall. He has gotten really familiar with the coaching staff, and I know he mentioned to me a time or two about Mark Matthews. He was when that commitment went down. He definitely took notice of the offensive line group A&M's putting together, has in place, and I think the playmakers, along with those guys up front, definitely have the Aggies in a strong position there. And you've got Asher Ghetto out of Jacksonville, Florida. He visited in the spring, one of the top talents at defensive end, edge. He's just been a playmaker at one of the top programs in Florida for a few years now, and established himself as a 5-star talent. He's going to have everybody on his trail, but I tell you what, he's a man of faith, and he talked highly of A&M's culture development program and their just what they have going on and off the field. He loves what's happening on from the defensive line standpoint, but he also likes the development, and what they have going on off the field as far as a culture and character type of situation. He was able to be. I think when he visited, he was able to get to Bluebell and see some baseball action, experience the 12th man in action there, and he was I know he was blown away by that. And you've got several top guys. Prince Che out of Thomasville, Georgia, one of the top defensive line prospects. That's high on A&M and has visited multiple times. I took a trip in the spring and the fall. You've got Geraci Carson out of Jackson, Mississippi, who visited in June and really took a liking to what he saw. A very high character guy there. Kellen Hall went to camp. Really impressed. One of the top defensive end prospects out of Louisville, Kentucky. You've got several across the country that visited offensive line group, the defensive line group. You've had several cornerbacks and DBs. Look for A&M to be a factor with a ton of guys from once again coast to coast.
Jason, great stuff, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
Anytime.
That's Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. All right, that's going to do it for the program. I think it was a pretty good show. E.J. Smith, Leroy Burrell, Jason Howell, John Harris, Braden Gall, Olin Buchanan. Tomorrow on the show, I know we'll have somebody from the Fan Show on. I know we'll have Stephen McGee on. The rest of the show, TBD. All right, that's going to do it for the program. Thank you so much to everybody watching and listening. We will catch up with you guys mañana.